Hey guys, it's Brittany. Welcome back to my channel. We're doing a bit of a series. I'm gonna try and do one per week for the first 40 weeks of the month, or of the year, and then I have an extra 12 weeks at the end of the year to decide what I want to do with all of these things that I make every week. Because I got this Quilt Builder Card Deck that I got myself for Christmas because it has 40 different quilt block patterns. There's a whole bunch of them. It's just, they're all these cards and they have different patterns on one side, and there's the instructions for how to make them on the other side, which is really awesome. So there's 40 of those, so we're gonna do one per week. And then handy dandy things at the back, it also comes with 4 different like layouts that you can use to like make quilts. You can also mix and match them however you want. And then it comes with these info cards, which are really handy. So this one's like an on point challenge where it challenges you to use your squares on the point instead of vertically and horizontally. And then it tells you how big you need to cut the triangles for filling in your border. We have this one here that gives you the different measurements for different widths and sizes of bias tape, as well as how much fabric you need to buy to back your quilt, yardage wise, which is really cool because it has like, if you need 1 piece, if you need 2 pieces this way, or 3 pieces, or 2 pieces this way, and it tells you how much you need to buy. And then this one here says you have to do half square triangles, which is really cool because like you can just take 2 squares, stitch, draw a line, and then stitch beside each line, and then cut on the line you drew, and you have 2 half square triangles. As well, it shows you alignment tips for when you are stitching together differently shaped pieces depending on the style and the shape that you want to end up with. And then the best thing, the best card in this whole block is this figuring fabrics for a quilt. So it has this chart where the first one is the size of square, the size of finished blocks you're gonna do, and then it tells you how many of those blocks you can get out of 1/4 yard, 1/2 yard, 1/3 of a yard, and a yard. So you can much easier, it makes it much easier to figure out how much yardage you need to make a quilt. And then it has a similar idea on the back for if you're doing rectangles and not squares, which is amazing. Yeah, so this is really amazing, and we're going to do our first square today. So we're gonna jump over and do that. So today is our first block. So we're just gonna open it up, grab the first block. So this is what we're gonna make today. This is the art square. So it gives us all our information. So A, B, and C, so there's 3 fabrics. We're gonna need enough for 8 squares of A, 4 of B, and 4 of C, which will then turn into 8 squares for A, 8 triangles for B, and 8 triangles for C. And I think we're just gonna do 6-inch, maybe 8-inch, it depends what fabric I find, probably 6-inch squares, which means I'm gonna go pick 3 fabrics. So these are the 3 fabrics we're gonna go with. We have a green stripe, a nice deep solid red, and some cherries. So we're gonna go ahead and cut out pieces. So I need 8 6-inch squares of the stripe. No, we'll do the cherries. 8 6-inch squares of the cherries. And then we're gonna need 4 6-inch squares of the stripes and the solid. step is to turn the 4 red squares and the 4 striped squares into 8 triangles. So then it tells us how to stitch them together. So we are supposed to put B and C together to make our triangles into blocks. I'm gonna do that with all of them and then do a 1/4 inch seam. Okay, so we have 8 cherries and we have 8 half triangle squares. So now we need to stitch them together. I did iron these. All of my seams are going towards the dark just because that's the way I like it. And now, because it's stripes, I'm gonna have 2 different directions here. So when I put them together, they'll go the same direction. So you're gonna wanna lay them out. So it says A, and then BC, CB, A, and then do. There we go. Yay! So now we're gonna sew this strip together, and this strip, and this strip, and this strip, and then we'll sew each of the strips together. And then we'll come back. Alright, so this is what they look like in strip form, and I have ironed them. And when ironing on the backs, we have ironed the seam allowances in opposite directions so that they will nestle in nicely. So one seam will go to each side when you do this, stitch them together so that it saves on bulk. So yeah, now I'm gonna stitch those together. And this is what we're left with. Now I need to work on my corners because like this seam right here doesn't quite match up, which bothers me, but this is the first time I'm using a quilty pattern like this, so I'm pretty happy with it. And the back is pretty neat. So yeah, that is the arced square. You might have noticed partway through filming this that my squares and the pieces I was working with got a lot smaller. And that would be because this is the first time I'm using these cards and I fudged up. We were going to make the 6-inch square and I wasn't really paying attention, so I just cut the 8 squares and 4 squares of each of those at 6 inches, which is not going to equal a 6-inch finished square. So got a lot bigger of a square. I did go back and cut the proper pieces for the 10-inch square because I decided 6-inch squares were a little small. So this is how the 10-inch square turned out. It's really cute. And this is the first one. This is how the first square turned out. It's still cute, but it's not really what I wanted. It turned out to be a 22-inch square. And I'm not sure how I did this, but somehow I fudged up when I was cutting my angles. So 2 of my sides don't like go straight across. And they change direction, which could be cool, but I'd prefer they either all change direction or they all match up. So that happened. The more you know. Now I know for the next blocks. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed making the first block, the art square from the Quilt Builder deck. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.